Good morning everyone. Today, I will continue my report about training and development and remuneration as part of the staffing processes. Let's move on to types of training. After specific training goals have been established, training sessions should be scheduled to provide the employee an opportunity to meet his or her goals. So before conducting training sessions, clear and specific goals should be defined. These goals outlines kung anong mga skills and knowledge ang ina-expect na makuha or ma-improve through the training. Once the training goals are set, a schedule for training sessions should be planned. And ang purpose naman ng pag-schedule ng training sessions na ito ay to offer employees a dedicated opportunity to work towards and ma-achieve yung mga na-establish nilang goals. So there are typical training programs provided by the employers, which are basic literacy training, technical training, interpersonal skills training, problem-solving training, and diversity training. So the first one is basic literacy training. Organizations increasingly need to provide basic literacy training in the areas of reading and math skills to their employees. Inasabi dito na mas lalong kailangan ng mga kumpanya or organisasyon na magbigay ng fundamental literacy training, particularly in the areas of reading and math skills. Some employees may lack sufficient proficiency in these basic skills, and providing training in literacy can be essential for improving overall workforce competence. This type of training aims to enhance employees' abilities to understand written information, perform mathematical tasks, and effectively engage in the various aspects of their job roles. The emphasis on basic literacy training underscores the importance of foundational skills in the modern workplace. Letter B is technical training. New technology and structural designs have increased the need to upgrade and improve employees' technical skills in both white-collar and blue-collar jobs. So, advancements in technology and changes in structural designs have heightened the demand for upgrading and enhancing the technical skills of employees across various job sectors, including both white-collar and blue-collar roles. So, yung inasabi dito na white-collar role ay yung office-based and yung blue-collar naman ay manual labor-oriented. This suggests that the evolving nature of work, influenced by technological innovations and changes in organizational structures, requires workers to stay current and proficient in technical aspects relevant to their respective fields. Next is interpersonal skills training. Most employees belong to a work team, and their work performance depends on their abilities to effectively interact with their coworkers. Interpersonal skills training helps employees build communication skills. So this statement suggests that a significant number of employees are part of a work team, and the success of their work is influenced by their ability to interact effectively with colleagues. To enhance these interactions, employees can benefit from interpersonal skills training na nakafocus sa pagdevelop ng communication skills to foster better collaboration and teamwork. Next is problem-solving training. Today's employees often work as members of self-managed teams who are responsible for solving their own problems. Problem-solving training has become a basic part of almost every organizational effort to introduce self-managed teams or implement total quality management or TQM. So, in contemporary workplaces, employees frequently function as members of self-managed teams, taking on the responsibility of addressing and solving their own issues. As a result, training and problem solving has become a fundamental component of nearly every organizational initiative that involves the introduction of self-managed teams or the implementation of total quality management. So ano nga ba ang TQM o ang Total Quality Management? Total Quality Management is an organizational approach that focuses on continuous improvement of product and service quality by involving all members of an organization from top management to the frontline workers. Ang primary goal ng TQM ay ma-meet at ma-exceed ang expectations ng customer by ensuring that every process within the organization is of the highest quality. So, ang problem-solving training ay nakakatulong to equip employees with the skills needed to identify, analyze, and resolve challenges independently within the context of their work teams. Diversity training. As one of the fastest growing areas of training, diversity training increases awareness and builds cultural sensitivity skills. Awareness training tries to create an understanding of the need for and meaning of managing and valuing diversity. Skill building training educates employees about the specific cultural differences in the workplace. So, diversity training is a rapidly growing area that aims to enhance awareness and cultivate cultural sensitivity skills among individuals. Awareness training focuses on fostering understanding regarding the importance of managing and appreciating diversity. It emphasizes the necessity and significance of acknowledging differences. On the other hand, skill building training goes further by providing employees with specific knowledge about cultural distinctions in the workplace, equipping them with the skills needed to navigate and collaborate effectively in diverse environments. Now, let's move on to remuneration. So, remuneration is a kind of compensation provided monetarily to the employees for their work performances. This is given according to the nature of job, skilled or unskilled, physical or mental, and etc. Remuneration forms an important monetary incentive for the employees. So, yung remuneration refers to a form of compensation given to employees in monetary terms for their work performance. The amount of remuneration is determined by factors such as the nature of the job, skilled or unskilled, and whether it involves physical or mental labor. Remuneration serves as a significant financial incentive for employees, influencing their motivation and satisfaction in the workplace. Employee compensation refers to all work-related payments, including wages, commissions, insurance, and time off. So, employee compensation is a comprehensive term encompassing all financial payments and benefits associated with work. This includes various components such as wages, commissions, insurance coverage, and allocated time off. Wages and salaries, being the most direct and visible forms of compensation, play a central role in remunerating employees for their services. The determination of wages and salaries involves a process known as job evaluations. So, sa process na ito, ina-assess ng organization at kino-compare sa relative value of different roles within the company. Employee compensation extends beyond just wages and salaries, encompassing a range of financial rewards and benefits. The foundation for determining compensation is often rooted in job evaluations, gaya nga ng sabi ko kanina. So, it helps establish fair and equitable remuneration based on the relative importance and contributions of different roles within the organization. Under the hourly wage system, employees are paid a fixed amount for each hour they work. The system is generally used for lower skilled occupations. So, the hourly wage system is a method of compensating employees where they receive a fixed amount of pay for each hour they work. In this system, the total payment is directly tied to the number of hours an employee puts in. Kumbaga, kung ilang oras yung ginawa nilang trabaho, ganin din yung magiging sweldo nila. So, this approach is commonly employed for occupations that are considered lower skilled, where the work may not require specialized training or education. Under this system, employees receive compensation based on the quantity of time they dedicate to their work, with the understanding that each hour work corresponds to a predetermined rate of pay. It provides a straightforward and easily calculable method of payment, making it suitable for roles that may not involve complex skill sets or professional expertise. Salaried employees receive a fixed sum per week or month, no matter how many hours they work. So, salaried employees receive a predetermined fixed sum of money on a regular basis, whether weekly or monthly, regardless of the number of hours na inagugol nila sa trabaho. This contrasts with an hourly wage system na na-discuss natin kanina, where pay is directly tied to the number of hours worked. Salaried positions often involve a set annual salary that is divided into regular pay periods, providing employees with a predictable and stable income regardless of variations in work of hours. So, ang examples ng salaried employees ay yung mga nasa managerial positions gaya ng managers at saka ng mga department heads, project managers, or team leaders. Isa pa ay yung mga professionals such as accountants, lawyers, engineers, and architects, administrative staff, supervisory roles, information technology or IT professionals, and teachers and educators. So, yun yung mga example ng salaried employees. Itong mga examples na ito ay nag-cover ng range of industries and job roles, demonstrating that salaried positions exist across various sectors and occupations. Most professional positions are salaried. The reality is that these job holders typically work in excess of a minimum 40-hour work week. So, employee benefits are supplements to wages or pay. So, explain muna natin yung una. In many professional positions, employees are salaried, meaning they receive a fixed amount of compensation regardless of the number of hours worked. However, it's common for individuals in these roles to work beyond the standard 40-hour work week. Despite the expectation of a minimum 40-hour work week, the nature of professional jobs often involves additional hours to meet job demands, deadlines, or responsibilities. So, ito yung mga overtime. This reflects the reality that many professionals dedicate extra time to fulfill their job requirements and contribute to the success of their organizations. Next is employee benefits or supplements to wages or pay. It means that employee benefits are additional forms of compensation provided by employers to employees beyond their regular salary or wages. These benefits are designed to enhance the overall compensation package and can include various perks and protections. Ang example ng mga employee benefits na ito ay mga health insurance, retirement plans, paid time off, bonuses, stock options, and other non-monetary advantages kagaya ng flexible work schedules or professional development opportunities. So, other benefits are optional and help build employee loyalty to an organization, including the following. Health insurance. So, ito yung nag-provide ng coverage for medical expenses. Pension plans naman, nag-offer siya ng retirement savings plans for employees. Employee discounts, ito yung nag-allow sa mga employees to purchase company products or services at reduced prices. The next one is vacation, sick, and personal days. So, dito naman, ito ay nag-grant ng time off for various needs. So, another one is bonuses or the extra incentive money beyond regular compensation. Profit sharing or sharing a portion of company profits with employees. And the last one is stock options. These allow employees to buy company shares at or below the current market value. So these benefits go beyond the basic salary, enhancing the overall employment experience and fostering a sense of loyalty and satisfaction among employees. A top management executive is given benefits unique to his or her status. Additional executive benefits are termed perquisites or perks. So, yung mga top management executive ay nakakatanggap ng special benefits unique to their high-ranking position. These additional executive benefits are commonly referred to as perquisites or perks. Perks are extra advantages or privileges provided to executives beyond their standard salary or compensation. They may include things like a company car, executive health plans, expense accounts, club memberships, or other exclusive privileges designed to acknowledge and enhance the executive status within the organization. Perquisites are often tailored to reflect the higher responsibilities and expectations associated with top-level management roles. And that's all for my report, and thank you for listening.